Yeah.
Hello, hello. Yeah, you can hear me.
Yeah. You know, after it was cleaned up, it sure would help. In countertops.
Hi, Ella.
Hi.
No, they're not that bad.
You obviously can hear me, so that's good.
Maybe it's the thing is you can maybe do that after this.
We'll start here in a sec.
Yeah, and do not right. So I'll say. I do know that. And just make sure it's. No, he's a good guy. I met his brother through. Met his brother through the builder.
Hi, Sandra. We're gonna get started here in a second.
Alex started with the Bible, discuss it with you, share with me. So, yeah, he referred me as brother. But he couldn't do it. His brother, he wasn't quite as cheap, but he was really good and fair. But yeah, Alex was cheaper.
Hey, how are you?
Oh my God, he did the,
All right, we'll get started, guys. The forms today are pretty simple and straightforward. So we'll just go over the first one. So the counter offer. We'll just kind of go over it. Alan, Sandra, can you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, cool. So I'll get started here. So the first one we're gonna go over is just a counter offer. I mean, they're both forms are pretty straightforward. We'll just go through them. So the use. So the use of the addendum form is to make a counter offer or a counter to the counter offer. So this form is to be used by either buyer or seller. Do not make changes on the purchase and sale form itself unless it's a simple change. No, each change to the purchase and sale agreement form must be initialed by
Thanks, I
both
got it.
buyer and
Get ready.
seller.
You can wait. I give her fucking another 10 minutes. Wait.
Okay, so we just made it, Jonathan. And then B, the withdrawal before the acceptance. So any counter offer can be withdrawn before it is accepted. The counter offer is not accepted until one, it is signed by the parties receiving it, and two, it is then delivered back to the party who made it, the party broker or license office of the broker. Note that a withdrawal must be in writing pursuant to notices paragraph in the purchase and sale form agreement.
down.
use Northwest Multiple Form 36A withdrawal of an offer or counter offer for this purpose. C, not an addendum. Do not use this form amended in existing fully executed purchase and sale agreement. Instead, use Northwest Multiple Form 34, addendum to the purchase and sale agreement or any pre-printed addendum available to you. So, what do you guys understand from this form? So what are you guys understanding from the form on this one? Ella. Bueller. Bueller.
I mean, it's all making sense so far, but
Yeah, so I mean, the biggest thing with these forms is that you guys are only using it to counter offer a specific part of it. So you're not going to use it as an addendum. So a lot of times what happens is two things will happen with this form is one, you'll make an addendum change. So an addendum change would be something to the effect of, you know, a contract date shall be extended to XYZ or new purchase, you know, amount shall be XYZ. A counter offer is just countering any, you know, any thing that is signed, you know, any counter offer. So, yeah, I'll give you, and I apologize, but so the purchase price shall be, so I'll show you the form itself. This might make a little more sense here. So on this, if it's just a purchase price, you would just say purchase price shall be, you know, $550,000. And then you would write it out. And then you would just say, I always write out $550,000. Sorry, I can't see anymore. And then you would just go ahead. So what the form is saying, so say they don't accept the 550,000, this would be redlined. There would be a counter for $600,000. And then you would put that there, and then you would write it out, right? So this is what it's used for. So you would do that, and other would be any other counter offers. So a good counter offer would be, you know, let's use something really simple like I'm trying to give you guys something real life, so you know, citing or I apologize. Say they were asking for a the homeowners association to be paid by seller, you know, then you would just say homeowners association to be paid by buyer. Something to that effect that is just a simple counteroffer. This is what you would do. The reason you use this form primarily in real life is because you want to be clear on your counteroffer on your counter offers. Instead of crossing it out on you still have to cross it out on the contract, but just to have clarification to anything that you're countering. Does that make sense? And then, so again, you have to do the other thing that is really emphasized on these, and again, these are pretty simple, straight up forms, are making sure that the counter offers have initials on both sides. So the reason is because in between that, so say you send this counter offer addendum while you're negotiating and it does not get accepted, the second you send this counter offer, the mutual is in jeopardy, for a better lack of term. So when you guys are sending it as a counter offer and it hasn't got it fully accepted with all the initials on it and sent back to you, that contract is still in limbo. What's happened in the past before is this gets sent out to your client, to the, say you're representing the buyer, you counter it, and they get an offer accepted. In the meantime, that is better. If they agree to it, send it back to the other party, then you're out. Okay, now, moving forward in the real life is your client finds another house that they want to make an offer on. You've sent this counter offer addendum, or they get cold feet, or they're just like, they find out that they can't do it through their loan officer, XYZ. You can withdraw all the counter offer and the offer period if you use form 36A. So how 36A works, I'll have Gavin read it here. Is go for it. I'll let you read it out.
The first part, A.
Just go A through C.
All right. Use this form if a party making an offer or counteroffer decides to withdraw it. The purchase and sale agreement requires the withdrawal, or that withdrawal of an offer or counteroffer must be in writing. When it can be done, an offer or counteroffer can be withdrawn, revoked only before it is accepted. The withdrawal is not effective until it is actually received by the party to whom it is directed, the party's broker or the licensed office of the party's broker. Importance of immediate delivery. If a party decides to withdraw an offer or a counteroffer, it is extremely important that you deliver this form to the other party or the other party's broker as soon as possible. It is possible that during any delay, the other party could accept and deliver a signed offer or counteroffer to your office, and then it's too late for your client to withdraw.
So here's the real life scenario. You've sent the counter offer addendum as a buyer. So you send the counter offer, and again, the buyer, for whatever reason, can't execute on the contract. If it has not gotten accepted yet, then you send this withdrawal form right away. And as long as delivery hasn't been done, do you guys remember what constitutes delivery? You know what constitutes delivery?
Meaning that it's actually been sent or received.
So what constitutes being sent? Does anybody remember from the purchase and sale contract? You get bonus points if you remember. Remember, delivery constitutes email, fax, and making sure that you send it to the opposing office and that it is actually received by them. So usually when you include, the reason why we harp on you guys to include anything that you sent to the other office is usually to their main office, brokerage office, is the reason is usually you'll get a response email. So when you CC Kent North, you'll get an automatic response saying this email is not monitored, but we've received it. And the same thing usually typically happens with when you send it to other offices. That actually constitutes acknowledgement. So that you've sent it off and it has been received. So it's better to get a received, even if a text message from the other agent saying I received, that's good enough. Anything saying that you received it, that constitutes delivery. What's happened to get in other cases before this is that somebody has sent something, it's been in an inner space, but there's no way you proving it that it actually got there. So what you're looking for is that it got there. Why it's so important in this case is if you've done a counter offer, you've done a price change adjustment, whether it's the seller, and a lot of times it will happen with the seller primarily. The seller is the primary one that, you know, this is really a key form for you, is because when you're representing the listing side, say you've sent out a counter offer to say, well, I want a price of 620,000. In the meantime, the offer that you were expecting to come in finally comes in and they're offering 650. As a listing agent, you can immediately sign a counter offer addendum. You could come here to the form, you fill it all out, obviously. To seller and listing broker or buyer, I would send it to the buyer broker in that case. Counter offer is withdrawn, and you can even do the offer and counter offer, or you would do the counter offer is withdrawn. You can put seller, sign it. And the biggest thing, the most important thing is when you're withdrawing any offer is the delivery piece. So you're supposed to do it anyways, but attaching your office, our office, Kent North, you know, at Kent North at johnoscott.com, sending it to our office, and then also sending it to their main office. And so when you go to the Northwest Multiple Listing and you're like, I don't know what their office is. For bonus points, does anybody know how to do that? I'll show you right now.
Should have.
So when you go to here, and you guys can still see this? So when you go to look up so we're just gonna do a quick search here. Active. We'll do residential. We'll do Bellevue. Jack King, and then we'll do Bellevue. So search. And I know this is super simplistic sometimes. Sometimes I just want to make sure that you guys are seeing it. Right here, if you just click on their office, it'll have their firm document email right here. Most of the time, it'll have it right here. But it's literally right there. That office email, when you send it to that email, you CC it on it, you are confirming delivery on that. So it's really that simple when you're looking up you're making a counter offer to the property. If you want to withdraw it, make sure that you CC the firm document email. That's just the biggest thing you can do with that. I've had cases where they haven't done that. And then say the agent just says, oh, I didn't get it. Sorry, we're in mutual now. And now you're going back and forth about when mutual happened. So making sure, and that counts for mutuals, that counts for anything else. Really, that's pretty straightforward with the withdrawal and or withdrawal offer. So same thing, buyer, the real life is the buyer sent over an offer. They get buyer's remorse, or they found another house that came on the market that they rather go for. Their financing fell through. They just found out the real world scenario is that scenario where they found out that they just lost their job that day. The wife found out their job and they're not going to be able to get the house, and they put in an offer and they immediately need to counter offer. If you still don't have mutual, you just send this form, you put it down as, buyer broker, get them to sign it. They do not have to get a counter sign. That's it. You just send it, it's done. Once you do have mutual though, you cannot use this form. So once you have mutual, it's done. You cannot go back and no take backsies once it's in mutual. But once if you do not have mutual, you can use these forms. The other one is pretty straightforward. Like I said, you can make any counter offer to the agreement at any time, but these forms are basically both used prior to mutual. These forms shouldn't be done after mutual because that's not what you're counter offering. Once you're in mutual, you're just using a traditional form 34 as per the commentary on the form showings. Does that all make sense? Any questions out there? It's a pretty simple form class today. I mean, we probably could have added another form to the class today. But it's pretty straightforward. Yeah. Ella, Sandra, Jonathan, any questions?
It's pretty clear.
No, not right now. That thing's pretty easy. This one is.
This is probably one of the easier classes. I could have added another form to this one, but yeah, like I said, just to recap, this form prior to mutual, anything after mutual, it falls on a form 34 or a change adjustment. But prior to, these are the forms you're going to use. And if you want to withdraw, again, anything before mutual, the biggest thing I want to emphasize is always use a firm document email whenever you're countering, going into mutual, anything. I think that's the biggest thing that agents miss is making sure to CC the other firm and our firm, because we also have a way. So when we're fighting it about mutual, this and that, I actually did have about a year and a half ago a fight about a mutual, and I was able to prove it that we got in on time and they were forced to take our offer because we executed mutual beforehand, simply because it got CC to the fresh look firm. Actually, it must have been 2 years ago almost, but because it got into the fresh look firm email and I was able to see it, I was able to see what was going on. So, and I was able to prove it with that. And then I countered it. I countered it with the other firm, and the other firm confirmed that I had the exact time. I remember for whatever reason, it was 3:42 p.m. It was like on a Thursday, and I was able to call the other brokerage, find out that they got it because I had the email stating, remember, it's important that you do it to our firm too, because we'll get the CC stating what time you sent it, who was on the email. So we have proof that it got sent to the other firm's email and to the broker. And they were trying to act dumb, like they hadn't received it. And I simply pulled it up on our firm email stating that, because their contention was that the agent had not received it. And that that our agent didn't press the send button or something goofy happened. They were like, oh, it's an error. And I was able to say, no, I see it in our firm email. Here's a CC on it from our firm. I see it that I got not only sent to the broker, but it got sent to their firm email. And it was a really easy way. And I said, we're in mutual, period. And there was no counters, there's no additional addendums, there was nothing. It was very clean and straightforward. So, but yeah, it's pretty straight, simple forms today, so. I'm not gonna try to extend it out and waste any more time, but, if you guys have no more questions, or is there anything you guys want to talk about any other deals or anything else? Pretty clear, yeah. Okay, so remember, these forms are only used prior to mutual. Yeah, got it. All right, well, have an amazing day. Have a great positive day. If you guys have questions, give me a call. Like I said, Eric will be gone for the next 3 weeks, and we'll just go from there.
Thanks, Tony.
All right, we'll talk soon.
Thank you, Tony. Bye.
Thank you.
Yeah, that one's like super easy.